Hey there, it's Shauna. I hope you're doing good. This is your weekly astrology forecast for the week of September 19th. And this week is all about Operation Integration. So this week you have an opportunity to really integrate all of the crazy stuff that may have come up for you the last few weeks. We had a lot going on in this month. We had Mercury retrograde and 2 eclipses. And so it's been a little chaotic. It's been a little bit, could have felt a little bit uncertain. And so things are in a process of integration this week. So I'm excited to share with you why. And I have some tips for you on how to really use that energy to integrate all of the stuff that's come up for you, all of the lessons and all of the insights, so that you can move forward in a way that is more skillful and just more cohesive in your life in general. Because everything that's come up for you in the last few weeks, I want you to know that it's not just that Mercury's retrograde and it sucks. Like, that's not what it is. The whole point of Mercury retrograde and the eclipses and any transit in general is that it's like going to school. So you go into 2nd grade and you learn cursive or your times tables or whatever it is, and then you go into 3rd grade, you take that with you. You take that experience with you, whatever it is that you learned. And so ideally, you have time to process. And that's really what this week is about. This week is about processing all of those things so that you can move forward. So that being said, on Wednesday, on the 21st, is when Mercury stations direct. So Mercury stops to appear going backwards. Mercury retrograde we've had for a few weeks or so. It went retrograde on August 30th. And so now it's stationing direct this Wednesday, the 21st. So we're going from this involution process, from this process of self-reflection and self-inquiry and really studying the self, especially because this Mercury retrograde was in Virgo. Virgo is all about self-improvement. So everything is moving outward again. Mercury is the mind, it's your sense of communication, and it's your ability to make sense of things logically. So that was internalized, and now it is moving forward again. And so all of the insights and little snafus and weird things that happened over the last few weeks, that may start to feel like things are settling and falling into place and you're making sense of things. Or you just may feel a little bit less cray. That's possible too. So we have that happening. And then on Thursday, we have the autumn equinox and we have the sun moving into Libra. So this is like a shift point in the seasons. And it's really interesting because we have a lot of energy that's slowly moving from Virgo, sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, to Libra. And so Virgo is all about self-reflection, and it's really about the study of the self. And it's about an improvement of the self so that one can be better. And Libra is all about relationships. It's about how you take that self-study and that self-improvement and you apply it to the people in your life, how you apply it in real life, basically. So Virgo is very self-focused, and then Libra is very relational, very relationship focused. So with all of this, I think that's another way how this could manifest as things feeling like they're integrating, because over the past few weeks you've had a lot of opportunities to look at yourself and to look at where you may want to change or shift things about yourself, especially with the eclipses that we had on September 1st and on September 16th. So this week is great to put some of that into practice. And I'll have some tips for you in a second, but that could just look like really practicing whatever it is that you want to get better at in your relationships, like talking to people. And this can be romantic relationships, friends, bosses, colleagues, whatever it is. But there's a shift this week from focusing on improving yourself and focusing more on what it is that you want, and there's more of a focus on how you're going to apply yourself to being with others and how you can do that in a most harmonious way. Libra is all about balance. In addition to relationships, it's also about balance and justice and harmony and a sense of fairness. and this reminder that we're always in relationship with one another. There's nothing that is not a relationship. So that's something that's happening this week as well. And then another interesting thing that's happening on Sunday is that the sun is going to conjunct Jupiter. And so this is a very auspicious, lucky kind of time. So this week could be really interesting, where lots of things could come up where it feels like things are integrating. And then there is like this optimistic kind of vibe, because Jupiter is all about expansion and luck and optimism, and it meets with the sun, and the sun is like a big spotlight. So this could also take the form of the shadow side of Jupiter is being overly optimistic about situations. So I want to caution you to do that, especially with Mercury just coming out of retrograde. If you're going to make any big purchases or sign contracts or anything like that, I would wait until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I would give it like a day or so, just to be on the safe side. So that being said, big focus on going from the self to relationships. So in that light, I have 3 tips for you. Tip number 1 is I want you to write down 3 things that you've learned about yourself during this month. So the month of September, which is in essence the time that Mercury has been retrograde, what have you learned about yourself? 3 things. So that's tip number 1. That's just to really solidify the message that you've gotten from the universe for this Mercury retrograde cycle. Tip number 2 is to layer this into the move into Libra, is I want you to also write down ways in which you can apply these things that you've learned about yourself to your relationships. So whatever it is that you've learned about yourself, how does that work in your relationships? And it may seem like it does, it may seem like it does not. It could just be that you show up as a more authentic person. That's cool too, and that's actually pretty amazing and helps with relationships a lot. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, these are all writing things. It's very mercurial kind of things. Tip number 3 is I highly, highly, highly suggest that you take up journaling this week. And so in whatever that way that works for you, that could be keeping a journal in your purse or your notebook or at work or by your bed. One thing that I love to do is I like to journal on my computer when I drink my coffee in the morning. It's very relaxing. Some kind of journal, like free writing journaling process. No lists or anything like that, just free writing. And the reason why this is so important this week is because we are coming out of this Mercury retrograde process, but also because Mercury is going to be trining with Pluto. And Pluto unearths things. Pluto helps you to make the unconscious conscious. That is Pluto's job. And so when Pluto, this planet that is all about making the unconscious become conscious and about healing, when it meets with Mercury, which is your mind, there's an ability to bring new insights and to have a lot of healing through making the unconscious pattern conscious. And that's a big theme of the eclipse cycles and everything this whole month. So the more that you can put words to what it is that you're experiencing, the healthier that process is going to be for you. It's kind of like being proactive in a way, because these insights will come. They will come regardless. But if you're encouraging that, then things will flow more naturally, and it just really speeds up the process so that you realize things more seamlessly. And Pluto is also very linked with intuition and that kind of thing as well. So really great stuff. Okay, so the 3 tips. Write down what you learned about yourself this month. Write down how you can apply that to your relationships. And then just write down everything. Do some kind of journaling, even if it's just for this week. I highly suggest that. So I hope that you have an amazing week, and I hope that you get lots of good integration and lots of resolution on whatever it is that you've experienced this month. And I want you to know that everything that you've experienced, it is for a reason. Even if it was painful or messy or annoying or whatever it was, there's always a purpose for it, and we typically don't see that up front. It's typically a hindsight thing. So I'm just sending you lots of love and wishing you to have lots of patience with yourself through this time, and wishing you an amazing week. So I will see you soon. Namaste. Mwah.